Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Education Platform. Now, before we begin with our lessons for today and our stories, I'm going to be reading you a verse which is taken from Proverbs chapter 8, verse 1 to 3. And it states that, "Doth not wisdom cry, and understand put forth her voice? She standeth in the top of high places. By the way, in the places of the path, she crieth at the gates, and at that entry of the city. At the coming in at the doors, the word of the Lord." Now, our first lesson of the day is about Cubism. What is Cubism? Cubism is the kind of art that involves moving shapes in different areas on a drawing or a painting, such as like a puzzle. Now, examples of Cubism art. The examples of Cubism are shown. Now, our second lesson is a review based on adjectives. Now, adjectives are words that describe something or someone. Examples of adjectives are: the lemon is really sour, and sour is the adjective used in the sentence. My banana cream pie was so delicious. Delicious is the adjective used in the sentence. Now, our third lesson is about the civil rights movement, which starts first, the Little Rock Nine. The Little Rock Nine happened way before the Civil Rights Act of 1964, where 9 black students were chosen to integrate into an all-white high school. It was also known as Little Rock Nine High School. The Supreme Court case that was involved was Brown versus Board of Education. They were coming into an agreement that if the schools should be desegregated. Next, the Montgomery bus boycott. The Montgomery bus boycott was a nonviolent approach because not many people take it as a drastic action. It also involves Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat to a white American, and as a result, she was arrested. So when the National Association Advancement of Colored People, also known as the NAACP, which I taught you about weeks ago, heard about it, they decided to put a court case to see if segregation should be abolished in restaurants, transportations, and so on. Now, our fourth lesson is about conjunctions, which is a review. Conjunctions are words that connect with words, phrases, and clauses. Now, the examples also fanboys is another way you can remember all the conjunctions that need to be used. And what fanboy stands for: F stands for, A stands for and, N stands for nor, B stands for but, O stands for or, Y stands for yet, and S stands for so. Using fanboys is a good way to remember it. Now, our fifth lesson is about STEM. Now, what STEM stands for is that STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. In some courses, they involve these three courses, such as digital electronics, or engineering and design, algebra, geometry, and so on. Now, our sixth lesson is about opened and closed points. Now, open and closed points. The open points are addition, subtraction, and multiplication. The only closed point is division. Now, I'm going to be reading you a story. And the purpose of reading it is to inform you, persuade, or to entertain. But it's really to inform you. And it starts. God Sees the Truth, but Waits, by Leo Tolstoy. In 1828 to 1910, Leo Tolstoy was a famous Russian author, perhaps best known for his novels War and Peace and Anna Karenina. Tolstoy also wrote many short stories, novellas, plays, and philosophical essays. In this short story, a man is convicted of a crime that he didn't commit. In the town of Vladimir lived a young merchant named Ivan Dmitri Akashanov. He had 2 shops and a house of his own. Akashanov was a handsome, fair-haired, curly-headed fellow, full of fun and ever fond of singing. When quite a young man, he had been given to drink, and it was a riotous when he had too much. But after he married, he gave up drinking. One summer, Ashkenov was going to the Nijitsy fair, and he bade goodbye to his family. His wife said to him, "Ivan Demirched, do not start today. I have had a dream about you." Ashkenov laughed and said, "You are afraid that when I get to the fair, I shall go on a spree." His wife replied, "I do not know what I am afraid of. All I know is that I had a bad dream. I dreamt you returned from the town, and when you took off your cap, I saw that your hair was quite gray." Ashkenov laughed. "That's a lucky sign," said he. "See if I don't sell all my goods, and bring you some presents from the fair." So he said goodbye to his family and drove away. When he had traveled halfway, he met a merchant whom he knew, and they put up at the same inn for the night. And if any of you guys are wondering, inn is another way to say hotel. They had some tea together, and then went to bed in an adjoining rooms. It was not Ashkenov's habit to sleep late, and, wishing to travel while it was still cool, he aroused his driver before dawn, and told him to put in the horses. Then he made his way across to the landlord of the inn, who lived in a cottage at the back, paid his bill, and continued his journey. When he had gone about 25 miles, he stopped for the horses to be fed. Ashkenaz rested a while in the passage of the inn. Then he stepped out in the porch and, ordering a samovar to be heated, got out his guitar and began to play. Suddenly, Troika drove up with tingling bells, and an official alighted, followed by two soldiers. He came to Ashkenaz and began to question him, asking him who he was and whence he came. Ashkenaz answered him fully and said, "Won't you have some tea with me?" But the official went on cross-questioning him and asking him, "Where did you spend last night? Were you alone? Or with a fellow merchant? Did you see the other merchant this morning? Why did you leave the inn before dawn?" Ashkenaz wondered why he was asked all these questions, but he described all that had happened, and then added, "Why do you cross-question me as if I were a thief or a robber? I am traveling on business of my own, and there is no need to question me." Then the official, calling the soldiers, said, "I am the police officer of this district, and I question you because the merchant with whom you spent last night has been found with his throat cut. We must search your things." They entered the house. The soldiers and the police officer unstrapped Ashkenaz's luggage and searched it. Suddenly, the officer drew a knife out of a bag, crying, "Whose knife is this?" Ashkenaz looked, and seeing a blood-stained knife taken from his bag, he was frightened. "How is it there is blood on this knife?" Ashkenaz tried to answer, but could hardly utter a word, and only stammered, "I don't know, not mine." Then the police officer said, "This morning the merchant was found in bed with his throat cut. You are the only person who could have done it. The house was locked from inside, and no one else was there. Here is the blood-stained knife in your bag, and your face and manner betray you. Tell me how you killed him, and how much money you stole." Ashkenaz swore he had not done it, that he had not seen the merchant after they had tea together, that he had no money except 8,000 of rubles of his own, and that the knife was not his, but his voice was broken, his face pale, and he trembled with fear as thought he went guilty. The police officer ordered the soldiers to bind Ashkenaz and to put him in the cart. As they tied his feet together and flung him into the cart, Ashkenaz crossed himself and wept. His money and goods were taken from him, and he was sent to the nearest town and was imprisoned there. Well, I have to stop there. As you're learning when you're reading this story, is that Ashkenaz was accused for a crime he didn't commit. And this is to inform you, as I said before reading the story. Now our next lesson is about Mapp versus Ohio. Now, Mapp versus Ohio was the destination for the Supreme Court because a woman is being accused for a crime she didn't commit, but the police go to her house for a search and seizure. It's also the Fifth Amendment to search and seizure. And now I'm going to be reading you the rest of the story of God Sees the Truth. Continuing. His wife was in despair and did not know what to believe. Her children were all quite small. One was a baby at her breast, taking him all with her. She went to the town where her husband was in jail, and first she was not allowed to see him, but after much begging, she obtained permission from the officials, and was taken to him. When he saw her husband in prison, dressed and in chains, and shut up with thieves and criminals, she fell down and did not come to her senses for a long time. Then she drew her children to her, and sat down near him. She told him of things at home, and asked about what had happened to him. He told her all, and she asked, What can we do now? We must petition Sakar, not let an innocent man perish. His wife told him that she had sent a petition to Khazar, but it had not been accepted. Now, before I go, if you want to learn more, please go to our website educationplatform.car.co. Make sure to stay in school, eat fruits and vegetables, develop healthy habits, and make sure to always read the Bible and pray to the Lord, because He will guide and protect you wherever you go. And if you want to see new videos, we're going to be uploading every week at Education Platform. And make sure to click the like, share, and subscribe button on YouTube. And click the Learn More button on our site. Now, I hope you all have a wonderful day.